Welcome to the Kentucky X-Files, Season 2, with your hosts Dennis Mays, Tyler Stewart, and Josh Gibbs. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, so you never miss an episode. Now, on to our show.
Coming towards me, just crouched down. For me, at first, I thought it was a distant voice.
I thought it was a bear. You can tell the difference between like a small wood, spindly leg creature and something with a larger foot. And it was big, whatever it was. It ran straight down at us and just stopped. And it was pitch black. Couldn't see it.
And most of these witnesses that come close to these things could have been killed.
It was beating on the side of the house. I guess it hit the side of the house as it went by.
Now, when it stood up, that's when I knew it was a dog.
Right, like I needed someone to have pure faith in a higher power at that moment, and nobody fucking did.
Welcome back, guys, to your Kentucky X-Files.
Ha!
Hey, like that, like your sensitivity fixed that because we actually heard it.
Nice.
Like, I feel like the last couple times that we've done Discord recordings, I feel like the listeners got to hear it in its glory, and me and Gibbs here were like,
It was pretty funny.
I guess we don't get to hear it.
Because there is one of the episodes where I did it, and you were like, I guess the bird called in sick or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on strike.
Yeah, he's on strike. And I was like, I did it, though. That's okay.
What are you talking about? I did
it. Guys, I know we've got a pretty cool topic that we wanted to go into, but there was a comment that was on one of our YouTube videos, and I really feel like this is really, really like awesome to mention this. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody,
Okay.
Molly Lollipops, who comments every now and again, pretty regular listener. She said, "My morning is so off track. I was so glad to see this. I hope you guys have a good day." And that makes me happy.
That's awesome.
You know?
Yeah.
Because after she got done listening to us, imagine how much more off track the morning was. You know?
You're right.
She was probably like, I'm going to listen to these guys, and it's going to, I'm going to feel better. And then, well, I don't know. Maybe she did end up feeling better. She was probably like, this is really dumb. These guys are dumb, so I feel really smart now.
Thank God I'm not those guys.
Honorable mention to Travis, too, for the comment, banger after banger after banger after banger. So
what? Oh man, that kind of like lends a hand to what you always say, like, "Oops, all bangers."
Yep. Oops.
So, oops. Oopsie.
Did you guys notice that we're actually getting a real Kentucky fall for like the first time in a decade?
Yeah. It's we didn't go straight from asshole hot to freezing cold.
Yeah.
It's we've actually had normal temperature days. It's kind of nice.
My wife said when I came in, she's like, I don't remember all the leaves falling off the trees last year like this. And I was like, well, it's because they were like encased in ice.
Yeah, they came down and broke.
They came down and shattered. So it was like, that's what I was saying. It was like last year it was like, okay, it's summer, it's winter, and here's a thunderstorm.
Yeah, winter.
Like, okay. Don't really know why we had to skip fall, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. This year though, it's beautiful. Like the trees look like absolutely breathtaking. I was noticing it when I was driving the other day, and I kind of just looked up and checked out like all the woodlands around here, as you pass through. And there's so many different colors happening. It was like, God, have we really not had a real fall so long that I'm actually kind of enthralled right now with this? Like,
Right.
this is amazing to see this, It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. It's I'm not even a fall person. I almost said fall guy. Then that would have been hilarious for anybody that's old enough to remember that show. But I despise winter with a passion. So fall is, although the weather is better, it's still kind of like that dark, dreary, grim reminder that the ice is coming.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about it a lot too, man. It's the inevitable. Excuse me.
Gibbs, I didn't know this about you. I love the winter. I don't know.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Not a fan.
I wish I would have known about this after I've spent all this time being getting to know you and stuff. God.
Right. But, it's, a lot of people, say, why don't you like it? And I go, come stand outside for 10 hours with me.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, it makes sense.
And not just outside on the ground. Let's go in the air.
Right.
Okay. I get you. Okay. I'll shut up.
Somebody had made a comment about it at work about what I do, and they're like, well, at least you're not outside. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be going from freezing cold to a cooler.
Yeah.
Right.
To warm up. It's, you know what I mean? Like,
so much better.
Yeah. I'm going to be in the warm for like 10 seconds at most. That's passing through to get to the cooler.
Yeah, for us, it's like it never fails. If it's summer outside, every window will be in the building. If it's winter, there won't be a window one.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we're usually doing outside structural framing.
Yeah,
and when you're in a 60-foot boom lift, a couple stories up in the air, the thing about a boom lift is the bottom of the boom lift is like expanded metal, like a diamond-shaped grate.
Right.
And that's so you can see below you when you lower down, so you don't crash into stuff. But the alternative to that is that air also comes up through it.
Oh yeah. Oh geez.
So you can be cold in every direction.
So when you get that back down, you got to knock all the ice crystals out of your beard.
Yeah. It just, there's nothing to stop it. A lot of guys, what they'll do is they'll put like styrofoam, the styrofoam insulation in the bottom.
Okay.
To try to, because I don't care how good insulated your boots are. If you're standing on steel that's got holes in it and air can come up through it,
yeah,
your feet are getting cold. It's going to happen.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. It honestly sounds terrible.
It's miserable in the wintertime.
Yeah.
But sometimes we get lucky and we get indoor jobs, and those are always cool. You
got to take your time when you get those, man.
Well, that's the problem. You get yelled at for taking your time.
Oh yeah. You got to be like, well, it's cold out. We got to make sure this is right, boss.
Right. Right. You got to do smart maneuvers. Like instead of having 15 guys on site, have like 8.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go a little slower, at least you're not milking the clock as bad,
Yeah, I get that.
Everybody's still producing the same amount. You're just not getting as much done every day because you don't have as many people.
Right. That's awesome.
But those are few and far between. Usually when we're somewhere, it's not comfortable yet.
Right. Oh, man. I wonder what these guys listening to us, I wonder if any of them have to deal with this. I'd love to hear about it.
Right.
Hey, you guys, what I was thinking is, I know like last couple of episodes, Josh, you were busy. We still bugged you during one episode.
Right.
But, we haven't done.
Sorry.
I'm looking here that we've missed a bunch of comments, and I feel like a couple quick shout outs maybe to some of these guys, especially Russ, who's been like,
absolutely.
I think he's I don't know, man. It just seems like he's trying to give Travis a run. Because he's like first thing in the morning, man. I'm seeing, I saw one where he's like first comment. I'm like, damn,
right.
Man, he's out for blood.
I really feel like Rust he's fighting back on YouTube like this. Okay, you're not pushing their videos anymore because you suck. Hey, I know what time they post their videos, so I'm still going to be the first comment.
Right.
So he's fighting back. Our listeners are fighting back now.
I love it. Oh yeah,
YouTube, you can't stop us.
That's right. Remember too, if you guys get sick of fighting with, even though we love hearing from you, you can still talk to us on Facebook anytime you want.
Yep.
And if you get sick of fighting with YouTube, you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, all of them. I think we're going to be on Pandora soon. So we're going to be everywhere. You're going to go outside to take your garbage out, and we're going to be in there.
In the garbage?
We're going to be in the garbage can, and we'll be like, here, we got this. And we just grab it and shut the lid behind us. I mean, you just never know where you're going to find us. But let's see here. What was it? A couple weeks ago here, Russ commented, oh, yeah, love starting my day with some Kentucky X-Files. Morning, fellas. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He follows up with, my opinion, we spent $200 million to protect us from an Earth-ending asteroid, but yet we have a bunch of idiots trying to start a nuclear war. I wonder what's most likely going to happen. Boom. I think he might be onto something there.
Yeah.
Travis comes in with honestly, I just hope aliens show up before we annihilate each other with nukes. It's probably for the best. I mean, if you know what I mean?
I've always said this, until a world-ending thing, I will say, if aliens did invade, that's the day that we actually will come together as a species, and work together and stop complaining about all the small things that we, for some odd reason, decided to make into problems.
Yeah.
So I'm not hoping for it, but I really feel like an alien invasion probably will do this world a little favor if we if we can make it out on the other end of it, though.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's a fair assessment. I'll go with that.
Right. I just think if we probably need to wait. I mean, if we can put off an alien invasion for at least another, say, 5-6 years, so that the current trends go out of style, I think it would be for the best, because it'd be really hard to explain to the aliens what the fuck is actually going on with us right now in the world. You know what I mean? I feel like we need to let this shit die off a little bit, and then, then we'll bring them in. Because right now it's like we'd have everything from, all of our political issues that get us spanked on YouTube all the time. The car owner virus stuff. We don't want to explain that, dude. That'd take forever. You know what I mean? And they'd probably just be sitting there on their spaceship confused and probably just leave. They'd be like, yeah, we'll just come back. So moving right along here, we got, there's Russ's comment. The first comment, have a good week. Stephen
Russ is gunning for Travis's position. I think Russ gets up earlier than Travis, or
that's what's going
Russ
on.
gets on YouTube before Travis does.
Yeah,
is what it is.
Travis is getting his episode the day before.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Because he's on the Patreon. That's why you know what I mean? That's
right.
You know
he
what?
Actually falls back and comments when he gets off work. Man, that Travis is a trooper, buddy.
You know what, dude? That's another thing, is that Travis has been flexing his Patreon status pretty hard. I don't know if you guys knew this, but this shit cracked me up. Where's it at? I'll find it in a second. I wanted to give a little quick one to Stephen Doms for saying that he said, great show. I agree that I'd rather spend the money on space than all of the countries can pay it off together. I think, who said that? Was that you that said that, Gibbs? I think it was. Possibly. We'd spread out the cost or whatever.
Yeah.
But onward to this Travis flex, because it's pretty freaking hilarious. He said, I've been looking forward to this ever since I listened to the first episode Sunday night on Patreon. That was a flex, Travis. Come on. You're flexing that. That's pretty funny, though.
Hey, Hey, go for Brooke, man. Like, hey, like if you want to flex it, that's awesome.
Yep. He says here, Travis follows up with, love my brothers from the Kentucky X-Files. I appreciate all of your hard work. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah.
Really do. It's awesome. Yeah, I know I didn't get every single comment here, but there's a lot. You know, there is a lot. These guys are very, very dedicated and very, very supportive of the show. It's awesome.
I'm just saying, like, you guys seem like you were like about to start a knife fight in our comment section, Rust and Travis. You're like, oh man, Travis is doing or Rust is doing this, Rust is doing that. You're like, Travis is going to get upset. He's like, no, I'm the number one.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like we got folks battling. I shouldn't even tell them this, but I'm going to. You know, if you post and interact on our Facebook enough, it will award you with a top fan badge. So there's that.
Okay, I'm going for it.
I don't know if
can I get it?
I don't think you can get it because you're one of the creators.
Dang it! Who's making these rules?
You can make a sleeper account and do it.
That is true.
I just feel like that's cheating.
Is it though?
I can make an account that says Stuart Tyler,
not Tyler.
Yeah, not Tyler from Kentucky X-Files.
Totally not Tyler.
It's a not Tyler. You're like, Daddy, Josh. Like, oh God, it's not Tyler.
It's not Tyler.
The not deer got him. I knew it.
Oh God, the not deer.
Yeah. So what was it like? Maybe a week or two ago when Josh hit us with this idea for a topic, which I thought was pretty brilliant too. Said, what if Patty was the last of her kind? And the video we saw in the Patterson and Gimlin, what if it was the last? What was that? Was the last one of the species?
Right. That was my working theory. Especially for people like me that are somewhat skeptical on everything, you know.
Yeah.
For the naysayers, it would be a great argument against that. But what if that was the last one?
Yeah.
And that's the reason why it's the only video that nobody has just flat out said, this is the exact reason why it's fake.
All right.
Because you see a lot of stuff on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, whatever.
Yeah.
And for the most part, we can pick it apart in about 15 seconds.
Sure. Yeah.
It's usually bad, especially what is it, NV or NZTV?
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
NV, yeah.
Yeah.
That is some of the most ridiculous tripe I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, it kind of reminds me of that other YouTube where the guy like blatantly like fakes everything he does.
Yeah,
and it's like it's so obvious.
Talking about it,
and like I said, I don't want to say his name because I'm not trying. I don't want more people wasting their time with this because it's a bunch of garbage.
Right.
I'm upset that I wasted a bunch of time on it.
I memean, as far as NZ goes, don't use it as a source to find Bigfoot evidence. Use it as a source to find great Halloween costumes.
Yeah,
because that's all that channel is Halloween masks in the trees.
Right.
Yeah, it's absurd. But what if Patty was the last, and there's something entirely different out there that people are, misidentifying?
There's a lot to say with that, because if she was the last one and that was the last time anybody caught it on tape, you know what I mean? I mean, it reminds me of that footage of the Tasmanian tiger. Remember that? The old black and white of the Tasmanian tiger in the cage, It reminds me of that. It's like, this is a rare thing that you're never going to see again.
Right.
And then it would hold up for a lot of different things.
Yeah, and think about this. Patty's a female.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. How many times have you seen footage or film or photographs of any kind of primate tribe? Any kind. Think about them. Monkeys, macaws a bird, macaque, baboons, orangutans, chimpanzees, gorillas, you name it. When you see the pictures or the videos of the tribes, the females usually either have an infant of the season, or the young adolescents nearby. If there was no male for Patty to mate with, then she wouldn't have an offspring with her.
Right.
Patty
also,
did not.
You know that the same scenario could work even if there was less than 20 spread out on the continent.
Right.
Because unless they, what animal is going to be able to tell if there's an opposite mate, in Maine and they're over in the Pacific Northwest? How are they going to know? There's no way the pheromone's going to travel that far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no way they're going to know. And then there's no guarantee they're going to survive the trip. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So even if Patty was the last one, then yeah, you're basically looking at the end of the species right there. But you could almost take the number up to 20 or 30 spread out all over the country, and there's the chances of them finding each other or even being a good match. You know what I mean? A male and a female like able to breed. I just think that the likelihood of a successful mating would be slim to none.
Right.
You know, I'm just saying it's like that. This is a big ass patch of land to cover. Even if you are able to walk endlessly or whatever.
I mean, an animal of that size traveling that sort of distance to mate seems a bit absurd.
Right. That's, yeah, absolutely.
Especially traveling alone. Usually large animals that travel long distances do it in pack.
Right.
Like elephants and things like that. Animals that travel long distances that are smaller might go alone. But, like birds and stuff, birds and fish travel long distance. But, I don't know, man. That's a large creature to sustain itself.
No.
And you figure coming across the United States, you're not going to find the same food sources all the way across.
Right.
Things change, If you're in the deserts of Arizona, that's going to be entirely different than the mountains of Colorado versus the swamps of Louisiana.
That's true. Yeah. I just think, I don't know. There's a lot of suspect things too. Even though that the film has stood up pretty well to the test of time, there's still a lot of, what do you want to call it? Oh God, I don't even know what the right word is, but it's like, it all has to do with the character of the guys that filmed it. A lot of people said that, these guys went out there to try to get film of the creature, and they got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
You have millions of people that have some kind of experience with something they don't understand, and they're not really getting much as far as clear evidence. You know what I mean? And the other thing that gets me is that Patty happened during broad daylight. That whole thing happened during the daylight when 99% of the other, encounters are happening in the dark, in the night, And I know in the past I've said like, well, I don't know if their eyesight works as good in those transitional light, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to be wanting to walk around in broad daylight if they've got that good of a night vision. I just don't see it. But then there's what do you call it? The character of the men in question, right? And there's a lot of stuff being thrown around like, well, these guys bounced a check to even get the camera. You know what I mean? They were, what do you call it? Kind of shady a little bit when it came to their wheelings and dealings. And even after they got the video, you know what I mean? So it was like, there's so much out there saying that these guys were, like actual attacks on their characters themselves. And there's a lot of people that know Bob Gimlin, that met him, that know him, that talk to him. And a lot of people will vouch for the man that, no, you know what, this guy's the real deal. He saw what he saw, and he stood by it all this time, But there is a lot of evidence that points that as soon as they got the footage, they went on basically a spree to sell this footage everywhere they could. And that's, I don't know if that's to help fund, more investigation or what, you know what I mean? But there's an interesting parallel in all this, and it has to do with basically like think of the alleged best footage right now. Okay, very controversial guy, Todd Standing. All right, look at his pictures, and we've all talked about these pictures, and we've said the same thing. We've literally said, like, dude, this looks like a puppet. It looks like it's fake, right? And all of this, everything that's happening with Todd Standing, literally happened with Patterson and Gimlin. You know what I mean? There's a weird parallel between that footage back then and this footage now. It's like it's playing out like almost identical. And I think that's kind of interesting, But I still stand by my theory. I don't think if they are around, there's not that many of them. And I'm not willing to say that they're, I don't even know, like, we don't even know their lifespan. You know what I mean? We have no idea what their longevity is. We have no idea what they were like, what they, what their diet is. Is their diet consistent? I can't imagine a creature that lives out in the wild, it lives out in the wild its entire life. I can't imagine it having a crazy long longevity. But I don't know. I have no idea. I think it's an interesting theory, though. I really like that. What if Patty was the last, because it does lend a lot to everything that we've said before about, the breeding and populations and all that.
It answers a lot of questions.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. I mean,
it creates more, but
yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, it adds a few, but it's,
it's just a theory, that's the thing, is all of this stuff is theory. And, I don't know. For me, I have a hard time believing that it's currently existing, breeding, and, alive today. I know the woods are vast, and I have, none of that question. None of that. I have no question about that. But if you do a Google search for the rarest animal on the planet and type in images, you're going to get 1,000 very clear images.
Yeah.
1,000 different, very clear, concise images.
Right.
Everything Bigfoot is shrouded in something to create the mystery.
Yeah. That's definitely a big thing. And you have an uphill battle with an army of YouTube channels and websites out there that are just literally pointing to, that they're perpetuating a hoax,
Right. And, if people have seen something in the woods, if our listeners especially have seen something in the woods, I'm not saying that you didn't see something.
No.
But what it is that you saw, I would like to know. That's the whole reason I get interested in all this. That's the reason that I look stuff up. That's the reason why I was even interested in being on the podcast is, I want to know what people are seeing. I want to see if we can make a correlation between all this.
Yeah.
If they're I feel like we've always been on the same topic, because I personally haven't seen anything, and I know Denny hasn't seen anything, but he had that experience. But there's always that chance that like what is that? Because everybody, like I've had that sighting that I saw a bear in a subdivision. We don't have those black bears. Like, what was it? Like, was it a big dog or anything? And all these weird encounters that
Was Todd standing in a bear suit?
Todd standing in a bear suit. I didn't know that was on his agenda to come in the middle in northern Kentucky.
You got to keep an eye on him. You know.
Right.
Yeah, me personally, I don't know, man. I'm still kind of. It's like my brain won't allow me. My brain will not allow me to jump in both feet with Bigfoot. Right.
Yeah.
My brain will not allow it. I want to. I want to so bad. You know, just based on the monster tracker alone, I'm willing to jump in. I want to, but my brain is like, no, we have to wait. We need more. We need more corroborating evidence. Speaking of which, I got a piece. And this is weird. This is a little detail that I found interesting. I don't know. You guys might. You might not. I don't know. In the monster tracker, right around this time, this area goes dead. Right?
Right.
Once the trail kind of leaves Piner, there's a good couple of months dead space where I got nothing. And we're in that right now, and I've got nothing. No emails from any of those areas. And I was, during the time when I thought there would be, I was getting them. I don't know if that I don't know if it corroborates or what, but it's interesting. And little shit like that keeps me interested, you know? I'm interested, like, did it move on? Did it move past into more open farmland, you know, where it's not likely to get as easily spotted? What happened, you know? And why does it repeat over the last 2 or 3 decades? You know, why does it continuously repeat? Is there someone out there who's doing this and it's that interesting to do it? What is it, you know? Yeah. Or is there a really hairy guy that likes to hike across Kentucky every year?
I mean, so I do know for a fact that in northern Kentucky, 15, probably closer to 20, 25 years ago,
yeah,
there was a homeless man that was living in the woods in northern Kentucky, not far from Piner.
Yeah.
He actually set up camp behind Dave's house, and that's how he was discovered. Was he decided to cook one night and he started a fire.
Oh shit!
But it was fall, and I don't think he realized how close to houses he was. And Dave and Dave's mom saw the fire.
Wow!
So you know, the idea of a feral human, isn't far fetched.
Yeah,
or even a nomadic feral human at that was not far fetched. You know,
I mean, we have those type of stories all throughout the Appalachians. I mean, that's something that's, you know what I mean? Like we know that one, that there is feral humans. I mean,
well, we got it on both sides of the coast. Yeah. We got documented stories from Oregon and Washington State and Northern California of feral humans in the woods.
Right. You know, the only time for me personally, like I'm more than willing to accept feral humans as the culprit. I would be, you know what I mean? Because it makes sense. That one would make sense to me. It's not that. It's not those, you know, it's not those that keep me interested. It's the very few in the pattern, like little farm where the tractor is pushed over. There's no tire tracks. There's no nothing. You know, a water barrel picked up and thrown across your yard.
Yeah, the barrel full of ice.
Barrel full of ice. It's things like that. That
was a local story.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. That's the ones that I'm like, okay, what the hell? Feral human or no? I'd imagine they'd have a hard time with either of those. You know?
Yeah.
So it's those little stories where I'm like, and the best part about those stories, and yeah, I mean, yeah, you could say like, oh, they're creepy, they're entertaining, whatever. The best part about those stories is that they're a minority. Those stories are a minority. They're not, they're the majority of these stories are not fitting with those patterns. the just raw, just demonstration of just strength, I'll say. Those are the ones that keep me interested. You know, that's why I have a hard time. Like, I can't jump in, but I can't jump out either just yet.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with a guy the other day, and we were on the same debate, but it was with aliens, right?
Right.
And he was saying, he's like, yeah, man, I think that aliens are visiting, you know, and I think that, you know, we need to figure out what it is that they want and why. And I was like, dude, you know, this whole topic with aliens, okay? I know a lot of people, you know, have alleged that they've been abducted. There's even people that have went into hypnosis to relive it, and were literally traumatized by what they relived, right? And that's something that I'm not an expert enough to explain away, but I'll say, okay, that is what it is. The thing that gets me is that, you know, in the pattern of the abductions, right? People are taken, they're experimented on. We've even talked about like the whole gravity shift, you know, like the gravity dilation and time dilation or whatever, and the possibility that that's why they can't move and why they're being affected the way they are. It wasn't any of that made me want to be like, okay, you know what? I can get behind this. I was watching a Discovery Channel show where they were tracking sharks, and they catch this shark and they yank it up onto the boat and they tag it, and they got it laying there on the deck, and it's this shark can't move. You know what I mean? He can't do anything because he's laying on the deck. He's out of his element. He's not in the water anymore. And they tag him, they serial number it, they do put this thing in him so they can track him on a screen, and they toss him back in. And I'm thinking, is this shark going back down there? And he's like, oh my God, I was fucking abducted.
Right.
And if the shark could talk to the other fish, if he would be like, dude, I was abducted. They took me to their ship. They took me up into their ship, and they're like, Bruce, you're so full of shit. You know what I mean? You didn't get abducted. You never saw anything. And he's like, dude, I saw what I saw. I've got an implant in me. And they're like, no, you didn't, dude. You're crazy. And I'm sitting there watching this show, and I'm like, dude, they're scientists. They're studying us.
Yeah.
And, you know, the guy I was talking to was like, yeah, they're trying to find our weaknesses. I'm like, dude, they're not interested in our weaknesses. If they can yank you off of this planet, they don't need to know your weaknesses. They've already got you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's your weakness.
It's like, what would be the point? They've already got everything they need. It's like wiping your ass and then taking a shit.
Right.
It's bass backwards, guys. It doesn't matter. They can yank you off of the planet. They can do all kinds of shit. They can stop nukes, allegedly. They fly right into nuclear bases and disarm the nukes without even getting out of their ship. Come on, man. They don't need your weaknesses. Think about it. They're probably on their ship having lunch while they were doing that. You know what I mean? That was their lunch break. Yeah, they were bored. They were like, dude, you know what? We were waiting for our food to cook. You want to go screw around with their nukes? Yeah, dude, let's do it. Watch how mad they get. They're so cute.
That's amazing.
I'm like, you know, like the simplest explanation, you know, I just don't believe aliens are coming here to study our weaknesses, man. They've already got us by the short and curlies. They don't need it. You know, they can literally wipe us out if they want to. But the fact that they're studying us, or I can't say the fact that would be an incorrect. I think that they're studying us, okay? And unfortunately for us, if they are studying us, that does not bode well for the rest of the universe. It unfortunately lends a lot more credence to the dead or the dying universe theory, because the only real reason that you would be out this far studying life is if there's not that much life left. So it's a little depressing, in my opinion. You know?
Yeah.
Oh,
that is.
I can't say it can't always be because like they're studying us, because we don't always just study instinct near extinct animals. Yeah, we tag them and stuff just to make sure that we know how they're doing and blah blah blah. But yeah, for sure we do that. I'm not saying that's not a plausibility, but we still monitor any type of other animal. That's if we're saying that these other beings are saying like, oh yeah, we're like they're interested in studying us and our habits and this, that, and the other thing. So, like,
are you familiar with the Fermi paradox?
I don't think I've read that.
Okay, so to fully understand it, you're going to want to understand the Drake equation. Okay, and for anybody that doesn't understand the Drake equation, I've heard that it's basically an equation that kind of gives an estimate of the number of civilizations that could be in the Milky Way, only using us as a base for it, right? So if you take us and you say we're one out of this many that we can see in the visible sky, that still leaves room for 10,000 planets with life and civilizations possibly. Okay? The Fermi paradox is basically it basically states that the rapidly expanding civilizations would exist in the Milky Way. One of those civilizations should have already arrived here in our solar system by now, just based on the age of the Milky Way, right?
Okay.
And the paradox part comes in with the fact that we don't really know if they have or not. So since we don't know for sure that they have, we have to assume that they haven't. That's where the paradox is. And we're still to this day trying to come up with a reason why we haven't ran into any other, technological civilizations. All right, I'm borrowing some terms from the sciencealert.com website. Really good article on this. About 5 days ago, they released a article that says that the scientists have a new study is basically suggesting that aliens might not be visiting us. And this is a little comical because our sun is too boring. Take that one in for a second. Yeah. That our star is somewhat of a low mass star, right?
Okay.
It's good for us, but it's not a great, not a great idea for well, it's not the ideal, you know what I mean? It's not the model that you want. You know what I mean?
There are better stars.
So they're saying that what you'd want is a low mass star that was in the like K dwarf like size. Okay, those would be the best stars to migrate for if you were a long living civilization. You could bounce from those from one to the next because you already know what the star is capable of and what it can do, right? And the fact that our star is not one of these could be the reason why they don't even bother to come out here. We could be a well-kept secret from most of these civilizations out here, if they're out there, just because our star would probably not be what they're looking for.
That makes sense.
And I just think that's our fucking luck right there.
I've always wondered, like, okay, how long, like, okay, you said the age of the Milky Way. I was just wondering, what is the age? Like,
the estimate is about 8 billion years old.
Is there a possibility that we're all, I feel like we're all just thinking that we're going straight to sci-fi, like these aliens or like whatnot. Like, yeah, they might be different in some ways, but isn't there a possibility that these beings are just as old as we are? Like we literally came up together, but we're so not that advanced to go out and search.
Well, that's the whole thing is that if you take you say you used us as your base model for the most primitive species possible. Okay. We were cavemen. Now we're, carbon men, I guess. We're using carbon and fossil fuels and things like that. We're combustion men now, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So use us as your base model for the most primitive you can get. Okay, in 100 years, we go from horses to space shuttles. That's a pretty fucking good jump.
It's a huge jump.
In 100 years, right? Just based on that, if there's a civilization out there that's been a civilization for 18, 20,000 years, and they've been advancing the whole time, they've probably, I'm sorry, I said 180 to 120,000 years, okay? If they're that far along, they more than likely have already learned how to do shit that we can't even dream of, like relativistic space flight, right? Like, we know we gotta create enough speed to alter the mass of our vehicle to get from point A to point B, and we have to be able to create a time dilation while we do it so that by the time we get there, everything's not dead. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you're that advanced, you know how to do this. And if you take, us as your base and use the Drake equation, that means that there's at least 5,000 civilizations out there that are able to do this already. So what the paradox is saying that, why haven't we ran into at least one? Mm-hmm. Or are we running into them right now?
Are we? Yeah.
They could be here and they could be looking at us like, well, these guys are very primitive. And if they're that old, they'd know that interfering with us would probably be the worst thing they could do. You don't want to give, you don't give your toddler, what did you say in a previous episode, Gibbs? You don't give your toddler a machine gun.
Yeah, right.
Or something along those lines. Like, that's literally it. You don't give them, you don't give them too much, because you got to earn the knowledge as you go. That's evolution. That's what we want to do. So I don't know. I think it, I know I came way around the bend on this from Bigfoot to aliens, but
yeah,
in a way it really links up for me, because I want to jump in with both feet, but my brain won't allow it because there's so many things at play. The fact is in a mathematical probability, if you add up all of the hominids that we know so far on the planet, and you apply the probabilities of multiple hominids living at the same time, if you want to throw in the great apes, you can. Well, the math still comes out to 2 to 3, not just one species. No matter what we do, you know what I mean? The probabilities are way different, and it's hard for me to let go of that. If we apply something similar to the Drake equation to the idea of Bigfoot, we still come up with 1 to 2 at the minimum of humanoid species. But we also don't know the DNA of some of these undiscovered tribes. We don't know. We haven't made contact, so we don't know exactly what, where they come from. What's their ancestry? We call them human, and that's good. I think we should. If Bigfoot was discovered and it has a shred of intelligence, I would call it human anyway. So I don't know. It's one of them things. That's why we do this shit. I love it. I can't stop.
I kind of want to throw a little other theory out there too. Is that I know we already went down the path of these could be feral humans.
Yeah,
like we've said that, or yes. So have we ever kind of thought that this could be? This is a stretch, and I feel like you guys are going to pick it apart. But what if this is some type of evolution in some, because there are people out there that have never seen civilization, they've been on islands, and they're just they're secluded. So is this some type of you could say it's a de-evolution, but in a way it could be used as a evolutionary base because you kind of you become what you are. Your surroundings shapes you as a creature of this world. So granted, like, yeah, we're all driving cars and that and this, that, and the other thing. That's what's shaping us. But what would happen if there's a civilization out there in a forest type environment? Would it become like? Would you become something like this? Something that would actually would this be an evolve? This is the next stage because of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think at this point it's kind of a possibility. I mean, I'm not, like I said, truthfully, I wouldn't be willing to like shut out the idea of an evolutionary step, or even an evolutionary step from a feral human. Or,
I just feel like
vice versa. You know what I mean?
I just feel like there's like we might have splintered off. Like, say, like, this is not a normal thing to happen, but because, like, okay, let's go to the biblical stance. Like, we did talk about this before, that, what was it, Isaac had sons, and one of them was hairy all over. He was good in the woods, and, like, he was fast, he was strong. It's like, is that we could say, like, in a scientific sense, we could say, like, because of that, it could have been a birth defect. Something happened. He grew a lot of hair than more than a person should.
Yeah.
But then then again, could have just been an evolutionary standpoint of where they were at in life. Because I know evolution doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't even happen in years, but slowly but surely things, like, you'll start to see changes, and like, how long did this change start to pop up? And that could actually be the reason why we don't see as many of them, or there could be less of these creatures out there or people. Is that because it doesn't happen often, and they don't they don't have mates as often. Like, this doesn't, and this could be an ancient, very ancient, line of people that were scattered all over the world.
I think it's, honestly, man, food for thought, that there's, at the very least, right now on the planet, these are the ones we know of, okay? There are, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's, at the very least, I'm just going to say 10. I'm probably not dead on with this, but at the very least, there's 10 uncontacted tribes all over the or not the United States, but all over the world, right? South America, Peru, New Guinea, India, which I thought was interesting because I thought that most of India was, pretty contacted by now. You know what I mean? Brazil. And I mean, I'm just saying, just food for thought, right? I don't know, but anyway, so get a random phone call in the middle of that. That's hilarious.
Spam calls.
Yeah,
it was India. It was India calling.
Yeah, they were like, "You stop talking about us, you son of a bitch." No, I'm just saying that if there's this many, at least right now, and some of these places have multiple groups. Okay, so I'm really off on my estimate. It's a lot more than I was saying. I would really love to know if Homo sapien was the dominant gene. You get what I'm saying? If
they're technically a different species.
That's what I'm curious about. Yes. Because some of these have never been they've never made contact with anybody. They're isolated.
Right.
And some of these have been isolated for so long. There's less than one here in the Amazon rainforest. It says there's approximately 350 members. They don't know because we can't get to them. We can't spy on them with drones and shit. You know what I mean? The forest is too thick. we can't fly over and observe them. And they've never been contacted. No one's ever made contact with them or anything. The only thing that they've really had was a couple glimpses. And since these guys move pretty much all the time, they've found stuff like arrowheads, baskets, stuff like that they've left behind. So I'm curious, right? And I know this could probably be taken way out of context. I'm curious as if how related to them am I, or are you, or any of us? Are we all in the same species, or is this a different species of human? Not that they're any less or more or whatever before anybody gets triggered out there. I'm just saying that, are we all the same? Because we weren't always all the same before. And that wasn't that long ago in the grand scale of things.
Right. Well, I mean, you take I really need to brush up on my science on this part of it. But aren't wolves and dogs different species? Or are they the same species, different from familia or genus?
Oh, Tyler's dying right now. He's dying right now. I hope you know that. It's like his favorite movie quote of all time.
Do it.
Just do it, Tyler. Just get it out. Go ahead.
Like the difference between dogs and wolves.
There you go. That was all. That's all it was. Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne.
So, technically speaking, a dog is it's in the family, right? But it's a descendant that's been domesticated. Or vice versa, a domesticated descendant, which means that it probably wouldn't have happened on its own.
Right.
There would have been no need for it.
Okay, so I'm looking at it right now, and dogs and wolves are not the same species.
Right.
They're a different species, 100%.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Now, we can see differences between a timber wolf and a chihuahua.
Yeah.
But the differences between a timber wolf and a husky or a Malamute get a lot smaller.
Right.
So what if they are a different species of human?
That's what, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it really is a good possibility because, there were 14 different species of humans.
Right.
And
that number is growing. You know what I mean? Like we keep finding more.
Right. We keep finding more. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that there's a possibility that these people on these islands that are secluded could be a different species entirely. They just happen to look an awful lot like us.
Right. Yep. It's interesting too when we were talking about the dogs and wolves and the difference of them is one of the most interesting things I was ever told by a Malamute owner when I had my Malamute, my two Malamutes that passed away, was that Malamutes are an interesting story because they pretty much started with what they were. Right. So one of the oldest dog skeleton ever found was like just under 35,000 years ago or something. And for all intents and purposes, it was Malamute. And they to this day are still kind of working on it. Like, well, how did this happen? Because you know what I mean? Modern Malamutes were bred to be what they are. How did this one just kind of come to be? You know what I mean? And the tribe, the Malamute tribe said in their histories that the Malamutes were wolves that decided to become what they were. I don't know, but it's interesting.
That makes sense because even just like modern dogs, look at the difference between an English bulldog from World War II, to now.
They've changed so much.
A German Shepherd to now. They don't even look like the same damn dogs.
Right.
So changes are happening out there.
Yeah. It's interesting, man, because I was talking to this lady who had a what did she call it? An old English bulldog. Right?
Right.
And I've never heard that term used like that, an olden English, And I was like, well, what does that mean? And they said, well, they did some kind of breeding to it to get rid of the upper respiratory problems.
Gotcha.
And I was like, so it's not the same dog anymore. And they're like, no, English Bulldog and an Old English are two different dogs now. And I'm like, are you really? Like, is that, you know what I mean? That was amazing to hear that. And I never really dug into it to learn more about it, but that was kind of the whole thing was, dogs and cattle, those are like the two species on the planet where we pretty much are fully in control of how they evolve.
Right.
Like we're like, I like the way that one works. Let's keep going with that. Did you ever see that study where it was in like Russia where they domesticated a bunch of foxes, and only the foxes that were like friendlier that they could interact with, those were the only ones they allowed to breed. And by the time they got done, I mean, this didn't take long at all. I'm talking of like, say, 2 or 3 years of breeding, right? By the time they got to their end product, they had completely domesticated foxes that had all of the different colorations of dogs that we know. And they started with foxes. They didn't start with fancy different colored foxes. They were just foxes. But by the time they got to the end product, they had foxes with like a spot over its eye, or, like little fluffier hair than everybody else, really sweet natured. You can actually find the YouTube video on this. It's really awesome. And it said that their study basically was saying that these animals evolved to look the way they did because of us. If they're cuter, we react.
Right.
And that's how they evolved. Their evolution is directly linked to us, and I think that's freaking amazing. It's wild, dude. You can find the YouTube video on it and watch it. It's awesome.
That's pretty impressive. I like it.
So that's their evolution with us interfering. So imagine a human tribe that's out there in the middle of a rainforest, isolated from all other humans for the entirety of their existence. How have they evolved? That would be what I'd be interested in knowing. And how do we apply that to the possibility of a Bigfoot?
Right.
I think it's interesting, guys. This is the problem. This is the problem with the whole topic.
Right.
I get my teeth start, I start salivating. I'm ready. I want to tear shit apart. And then I just go right down another rabbit hole. And I'm like, well, hell, there's a new angle to think about shit.
Right. Well, see, that's where Bigfoot screwed up, is if he would have evolved to been cute, cuddly, and adorable, then,
there's still time. One day, you never know, man. We could be out there, and you could be out there playing frisbee with your big foo.
Right.
I'd hope that he doesn't shit in the front yard.
Oh God, no. No, that'd be terrible.
I'd hope that he'd be, toilet trained, because that'd just be horrible. I wouldn't want to clean that up. Got to feed him raw deer all the time, and keep him out of your neighbor's chicken coop. It's a mess. Yeah, guys, we're coming up on 1 hour and 5 here.
Well,
so I don't know if you guys want to let these people have their day or what.
Oh, absolutely.
Or if you want to just make them sit here for another hour.
I really don't think they'd mind.
Yeah.
But hey.
Yeah.
We got to end it sometime.
It's got to end. Yeah. Sometimes it just has to. But you know what? You guys out there listening, we appreciate you. Chime in on this one. Let us know. If you get, like I said, if you get sick of the YouTube, hit us up on Facebook. Send us a message.
I'm going to get so much hate mail for saying what I said about Patty being the last one. I know it. That's okay, man.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong.
That's exactly it.
I want to see what other. It's going to create a landslide of emails or something. Hopefully,
but you know
give us something to chew on.
At the end of the day, though, that's going to be what separates us from most, is that we invite peer review. Come on with it. I'd like to know too, because I'm always feeling like I'm trying to learn.
And if you agree, tell me too. I want to know. Do you agree? Do you think Patty was the last?
Yeah.
Or one of the last?
If you agree with what Josh said and want to send us $1,000,
Nope.
just send it. Don't even hesitate.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah.
That's your hard-earned money that you do not have to spend on us.
Okay.
Nope.
I'm just, it's an option.
We still need it. We need to get a P.O. box. We really do.
We do. All right.
Send us a dirty penny and a picture of your dog.
There you go. Yeah, definitely. We want to see pictures of them dogs out there.
Yeah.
And throw in what theories you have. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because there's probably 1,000 theories out there that somebody, like, even if it's crazy, if you think it's like out there, it could be the answer. So let's talk about it.
Yep.
Let's get it understandably, because we only got like small theories on this thing. So I would love to hear the listeners' theories about this.
Absolutely.
So,
yep.
But yeah, and music, said it before. If you're a musician, send it to us. We'll play it on the end of the show.
Absolutely. I think we got some music coming in on this one. I'm not sure, but
yeah, you should have an email.
Okay. What are the guys called? What's their band called?
Just tell me it's Flaming Branch.
No, I know that. Okay, so their Facebook page is We Are 5x5.
All right.
But I'm not 100% certain if the band name is We Are 5x5 or if it's just 5x5 and that's how they titled their page.
Okay.
I have to ask him.
All right. Sounds good. Well, if it is, then you're gonna hear some music by these guys, and you know what? You guys out there, take care of each other, and send us everything. Send us any theories. Send us $1,000, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right? I think they just go by 5x5.
5x5. All right.
5x5.
Let's jam them out on this one.
See ya.
Can't get back all that chance I get. Sleepless nights from the days we lived. Promise broken and I forgive. Or replace the cycle and repeat again. They say basic. Throw another back and erase it. Pour another glass and then chase it. Stop the mind racing. So here's the toast to the end. Sure we had a rush for the jump to the sin. I've been drinking alone. They say it's a problem. You left me alone and told me it's karma. I thought I was strong. To you from my armor. Trying to be your hero, but you made me a martyr. I'm just killing time, but time is killing me. Yeah, tick tock. on and on and on. 3 cheers for the time I wasted. Your memories I'm replacing. Keep running to the same old faces. On and on and on. 3 cheers for the time I wasted. Your memories I'm replacing. Keep running to the same old faces. On and on and